All right, hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about open houses, the new normal. So today we'll be talking about virtual open houses and appointment-only open houses. And we'll kind of go through how to set it up in Zoom, Facebook, and then for the virtual, and then we'll do the appointment-only using Calendly. Okay, so let's go ahead. Whoops. Actually. Hello everyone, Richard Neville here. We're going to be doing the open houses, the new normal. So today we're going to be talking about virtual open houses and appointment-only open houses. And then we're going to be going through ways to invite people. So like through social media and stuff like that, how to do like a Facebook event. So we'll be tying that in with the going Facebook Live, as well as we'll be talking about Zoom. And then for the appointment only, we'll be going through Calendly. Okay. So basically some of the things that we'll be talking about here, we'll first start with the open house sign there you see. It says by appointment only. So you're not allowed to put just like regular open house signs out there unless you have something talking about like scheduled or appointment only on there. So you don't get people trying to show up like at the house, okay? So here's some of the things on the agenda we'll be talking about, not necessarily in this order, but we'll be some things just getting started, and then we'll be going through creating and sharing your online events or open houses, and then we'll go through some tools and platforms to use to record them. We'll just be talking about the pre-recorded, which will be basically premiering them on Facebook. So we'll take a look at that on Facebook, but basically that's just a pre-recorded video. So if you do like, go ahead beforehand and record a video, edit it together, or just the video that you record, you can upload that to Facebook and do what they call a premiere. And we'll talk about that here. So then we'll go through the scheduling tool, Calendly, to do the appointment only open houses. So we want to then, we'll talk about adding them to the MLS and then some tips and tools along the way. All right. So just to get started here, we just want to talk about, you need to follow, the rules for showings, as well as, any state, local, CAR, CDC, social distancing and masks and all that stuff, guidelines that you need to be concerned about. So, and just remember, just want to touch on this, that, you're not required to do any of this stuff. So, don't feel pressured to do any sort of in-person, like appointment only open houses if you're not feeling safe for that, okay? All right, now that we have that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started with virtual open houses. So even if you haven't been doing a lot with video, just being yourself, a salesperson, your friendliness, knowledge, your market expertise, just bring that to the table as you're going through and doing the open houses. But remember, the open houses aren't really about you. They're about showing off the house and then maybe engaging with the people, answering any of their questions if they have some along the way. All right. And remember, you do not necessarily need to do them live. And what I mean by that is the static videos. So let's talk about that first. So the static videos, those would be like the ones that I mentioned earlier about where you record them beforehand. So then you'll have like a pre-recorded video, like a static video, that not a live video, that you can then upload to Facebook or YouTube. We'll show you Facebook. And then that way, basically, you pick a date and time when that's going to premiere, and then you can share that out. And then, you come back when that premiere time and date is with, the other people that are going to go view it with you. And then you can watch that viewing live with the other people, so you can engage them, ask if they have any questions or anything like that. So that will be, we'll go through that in a minute. But then the live open houses. So that would be, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We'll be going through Facebook. And then you could also do like a Zoom, WebEx, GoToMeeting, Google Hangouts, Google Meets. There's a million different platforms that allow you to do the like a Zoom type thing. So, but we'll be looking specifically at Zoom. Okay. So let's go to Zoom here first. So basically, Zoom is that you know, basically what we're on right now. So it's going to be where you can schedule an open house, and then like you know, a virtual open house that then you'd be able to put that link into the MLS, and that would then distribute, syndicate, those types of things, as well as you can share that as well. Okay, so first, once you get into Zoom, you'll go ahead and click the My Account, and then once you're in there, you'll have a button that says Schedule Meeting. Click that, and then you'll go ahead and fill out this information here. So you'll put your topic in, which you can use like your like my example here, 12345 Main Street, Valencia, California, 91355, and just like virtual open house. And then you put in a description, which is optional. Then you can put that date and time that your open house will be at. So you'll select the date and then the time, and then you'll set the duration. Just remember, if you're using a free Zoom account, you're limited to that 45 minutes. So just keep that in mind. With a paid account, you can go, you know, infinitely longer, but you're limited to 45 minutes in the free. Okay, and then go ahead and set that time zone, and you'll be all set. For this example, I chose the reoccurring meeting, which is optional. So this would be like if you're doing the open house from 12 to 1 on Saturday and Sunday. So like the 10th and the 11th. This way, I selected the reoccurring meeting and then just did daily, repeat 1 day. And then I selected the end date, which is the following day. So that created, we can see here, 2 occurrences. So that will create 1 link for 2 open house dates. Okay. So that way you don't have to create 2 separate events, have 2 links and make it messy. This way, you do not have to do that for the 2 days. I'm just showing you that as that option. All right. And then here, if you scroll down, you'll continue on, and there'll be the registration. So if you check mark required, then they'll have to put in their name, email address in order to sign up to receive the link. Then there's going to be waiting room. Waiting room, I would suggest leave that off. Leave that one off. And then, because otherwise that will be, you know, it won't be fun, because basically what that means is that every time somebody comes in to join your meeting or your open house, then you're going to have to accept them and let them in. This way, you know, while you're doing it, you're not going to want to be accepting and allowing people to come in, and watching that while you're trying to talk and walk through, and it would just be annoying. So you go ahead and uncheck mark, leave that. I think actually it's defaulted on, so you'll want to uncheck that. Okay. The video section here, that will be like by default, those are off, but you want to put those on. That means like you'll allow video for yourself, which you're going to want because you're going to want to be showing the house, as well as the participant, which, I mean, that's not as necessary, but if you wanted them to choose whether or not they want to show their picture or their video themselves, then not that that's going to take over your screen necessarily, but you might want to leave it off, but because it potentially could if you don't adjust it to only allow one person. But either way, you could leave it on. Then that way they can engage and talk with you or whatever when it comes time to questions. Okay. Then you'll just want to leave the audio alone. That should be set to both. Just leave that alone. That'll allow them to call in or use the audio on their phone or computer. So just let them have that option. And then the meeting options are going to be, I would just leave, you know, what I have selected here. So mute participants upon entry. And then you can go ahead, once you have the meeting started, you can select that nobody can unmute themselves. And then, you know, if you don't want people interrupting you while you're doing it, and then at the end, you know, you would be able to remove that option if you so choose, and then, you know, ask for questions. And then you can go ahead and record it. I would suggest recording it. I don't think that you would, unless you have a paid account, you can use the cloud recording. But if you do the save to computer, then that way you can get the recording of your video. And so maybe you want to share that out and put it on YouTube or Facebook or whatever after the fact, you'd have that recording of the video that you could then share out. Okay, so then once you have that created and set up, then you'll have the ability to then add the event to your calendar. So this way you'd be able to select whichever calendar you want to add it to. If you have Apple, you can use the Outlook calendar. That .ics will also work with Apple Calendar, just so you know. But that's for your personal calendar, okay? And then here is your link. So this would be the link that you'd use to share out on social media or to put into the MLS. So we'll take a look at putting that into the MLS here in a moment. Or you can just copy the full invitation as well. And that'll have all of the detailed information about getting into your meeting. Okay, so now that you have your meeting created, whether or not you can, schedule a meeting here, you could do it from your phone, but it'd be basically the same process that we went through on the desktop. But you're not going to be using your desktop or your laptop to go walk through and do the open house with. You're going to be using your phone most likely. I mean, I imagine, or your iPad kind of thing. So which the iPad will be just like this, because you'll be using the app. So you just go ahead and go to your app, click on the Zoom when you're ready to do your meeting. You'll see the little meetings button at the bottom. Select that. You'll see your meeting for your open house, and you'll click start. And then that'll allow you to start that meeting. Okay. You know what? I'm going to show you this one here, and then we'll be showing you how to put that into the MLS with the links. Okay. So once we have the Facebook now. So first we did the Zoom. Zoom would be where you do the video that we're doing now, and then Facebook Live would be like doing it live streaming on Facebook, as well as creating a video that you could then share out and put to YouTube and send out in a video and repurpose in other ways as well. You could also create this event and use it for Zoom. So this is kind of a dual purpose thing. So you can create this Facebook event as just an event and put in your Zoom link instead of doing a Facebook Live, and I'll show you that here in a moment. Okay. So from your Facebook page, you're going to see this like create event. You want to click on that. So then it'll come up the screen where you'll click that you want to create an online event. Okay. So you'll now enter your event name. So that will be, I did this example, just 12345 Main Street, Valencia 91355, virtual open house. Or you could lead with virtual open house and then put the address or however you want to describe the event. You can go ahead and do it as you see fit. And you can select the date and time. Since this was a 2-day one, I wanted to show you that. You can also do 2-day, this is a frequency. So this is like a repeating event, which I did 2 days. Start time is going to be the 12 to 1. And then this, you see down here, 2 dates. So you can do it just for that single day, or you can do it for multiple days as well, which will create that event for two separate days. Okay, so you don't have to create 2 separate events. This way you can do it in just one event. And if you have any questions about that, just feel free to let me know. Once you have that selected, then you'll go ahead and go to the next page where you'll be able to put the location here. So the location, whether you're going to be doing Facebook Live, Zoom, I would suggest putting that in rather than the address of the property, just because some people aren't, they might not read it as clearly, and then they just see that address and the location, and they might show up to the actual house. So instead of putting that address in the location, maybe put like I have here, like Zoom meeting or Facebook Live, something like that, so they know that it's going to be online rather than it being at that property. You'll have the ability to put in additional description information as you want, and then you just have to select a category, which this is just going to be in education or travel and different stuff, things like that. I just selected other. You have to select one, so whatever you pick is fine. Then click next. So here's what I was talking about with the Facebook Live or Zoom. So once you're creating this event, you can choose whether you're going to be doing it a Facebook Live, since you're doing an online event, or you can put in an external link, which you can put in that Zoom link from that when you created your Zoom meeting. Okay, so whichever one you do, we're going to be continue on looking at Facebook Live, but either way, you can put those, select which one is going to apply to the open house, virtual open house that you're doing. You'll get the next step is just like admission. So this is just, it'll be, I believe, defaulted on free, you know, unless you're doing a paid tour of the house, you know, that's going to be free. And then you'll have the option to put in a cover photo. So you can just put in, I believe this is 1920 by 1080. So just like a full, you know, like just a HD kind of size image, which you can use like Canva or those tools in order to create something like this. And if you were going to promote this and, you know, like pay some money to get it out to more people, Facebook used to have restrictions on how much text you could have inside of an image up until about a week or two ago. They removed that. So now you could have as much text inside of an image as you want, and not have your ad kind of slowed down and not shown to as many people. So this way you're able to just put as much text in as you want, so you can do something like this without having any problems. All right, so now that you created your event, you will be able to get that link. So if you're going to put the link to your Facebook Live inside the MLS, you would see the little share button here, the little arrow. Click on that, and it'll give you where you can just click on that to copy your link. Okay. So now that we have our event created, this is what it would kind of look like on mobile. So if you were to want to share this out to your personal page or just in different groups, anything like that, you'd be able to just click the share button and then go ahead and share that out. You'd also be able to promote your event here. So if you were going to put some money into it and you know, pay for advertising the virtual open house, that button there would take you to where you could you know, promote it. So once you, in order to use your open house, like I said, just like in Zoom, you're probably going to be on your mobile device, and Facebook will send you notifications. So you won't need to go this route, but since, you know, this event's scheduled for the weekend, it's not sending me a notification right now. But if you know, as you get closer to this event, Facebook will be sending you notifications in order to go ahead and set up your live video. Which set up your live video basically means, you know, make sure your video, you have your video turned on, your microphone turned on, all that stuff in order on Facebook app, so you're able to be seen and be heard. Okay, but if you wanted just to know how to get there, if you weren't following the notifications, you can just go to your Facebook page. It'll show your upcoming events. Just click on that event. It'll bring you over to the event, and you'll have the button right here to start your live video. Okay. Setup, but basically setup, like I just mentioned, is make sure your camera's working and your microphone and those things are functional. Okay, so adding to the MLS. So this is where you'd go and to the open house section of the MLS. And remember, this is just for the virtual open house. So even if you're doing an appointment only open house, you're not going to use this section. We'll take a look at that once we get to that part, but that's going to be in the public remarks and syndicated remarks. But for the virtual open house, you'll go within your listing to the open house tab up here, and then you'll go ahead and set your date, time, those things, and then you know, select public, virtual public, and then you'd be able to just go ahead and paste in that virtual open house URL. So that would be like the Facebook one we just saw, where we copy it from there, or when we're in Zoom, when we had the link, you'd be able to just go ahead and grab, once you copied that link, come over here and paste it in. And then you just go ahead, put any other comments you want, and submit. And that's going to go ahead and syndicate this to all the websites that will display the open houses. So this way it will go out to, you know, beyond just, you know, you just sharing it on social media. This is going to go out to the major websites. Okay. So that is how you add it to the MLS. And then, so that's virtually that's the virtual open houses there. So if you guys have any questions about getting any of those set up or started, let me know. I'm happy to help. So we kind of touched on the promoting already through the Facebook, but just some additional tips here. You'd want to schedule it out through any other social media platform. So if you put something, maybe you're doing a promotion, you can run an ad on Instagram as well. You could put it on your website. It's like a blog, something like that then you could email out, or just email it directly out. You can put it on other platforms, LinkedIn, those types of places, other, maybe networking groups, those types of things that you are associated with. Something to consider too is maybe do like 10, 15-second little teaser videos that maybe you can share out that week of the open house. So you can get kind of people excited to see, not do a full on tour, but maybe just a few seconds, 10, 15 seconds of maybe a neat feature of the property that you want to highlight and get people looking forward to it. Okay. Some of the things just don't forget while you're doing the virtual open houses, especially if you're doing this live, you want to do like a dry run. You want to, practice breeds confidence. So go through ahead and do like a walkthrough rehearsal. Make sure you kind of understand the layout of the home, some potential obstacles that you might need to avoid. This also gives you a better understanding of the features that you might want to point out in the video, which kind of ties into the bullet points. So, some of those features that you while you're doing the walkthrough, you might want to put in some bullet points so you kind of have not like a shot list, but almost like a shot list, of where you're going to touch and maybe some of the things that you're going to say. But you don't want to have like a full-on script because script can get you might mess up, where you lost track of the script and then you're trying to get back on, and you're this way, if you just kind of have some bullet points that you touch on, you guys have shown properties before. You just kind of want to go through like you're showing a property like you'd normally be doing. Okay. But some little tips here, maybe have them the bullet points written down. You could either have them maybe even taped on next to your camera or your phone, on the side of your phone, something like that. So, or even on your hand, not like written, but maybe in a little piece of paper or something, but you could hear crumple, but you might want to like just tape it to the camera itself. Or if you're using like a gimbal, something like that, like a Steadicam kind of thing, you could maybe put it on there. So then that way, while you're walking through, you can see those bullet points and kind of keep tabs of where you're at. And then testing, definitely you want to go through and maybe do a dry run first, especially if you've never done like a live video before or you're not too familiar with doing it. Go ahead and do like a dry run of like a live video, where it said, make sure that your camera's connected, your microphone's connected, those types of things. You can go through and test it out without actually going live, or you could just go live to yourself where only you see it. So then that way you're not going out to the public, you're just doing it to yourself. So if you have any questions about doing that way for testing, let me know. I can show you how to do that. But you can actually go ahead and do a run through where it just goes only to you, or you're the only one able to see it. So then you can kind of watch it and see maybe some points that you might want to touch on or change or whatever. Okay. So let's keep going here. So then once the big day comes, you want to maybe arrive early, get set up, make sure that the lights are turned on, doors are open, so you can flow through the rooms without a problem. Nothing to slow you down. Maybe start out at the street, so kind of give a full picture of the property rather than just the inside of the property. So maybe start at the street, maybe show us some of the neighborhood, walk in, go around the house so you can see the whole house yard. And always remember to like introduce yourself, thank people for joining, encourage them to engage by and ask them questions and comments, chats. Make sure that you express that how happy you are for people to be there, and make sure that that everybody's happy and healthy, especially now in these times. So once the tour is underway, just have fun, speak to the audiences if while you're walking through the house, like you're just doing a regular showing, you know, going through, pointing out some of the key features, basically what you do in a normal showing. But remember, like I said earlier, don't try to script too much, just kind of keep to those bullet points. So because sometimes, like I said, like when you have something too scripted, it'll come off kind of unnatural. And then, you know, especially if you kind of lose track of where you're at and you're trying to get back, and, you know, sometimes it doesn't end up going so well when you're too scripted, but, you know, kind of keep track of some of the bullet points, that the features you want to touch on in the property. So here's a few tips to remember while if you're doing, you know, like a virtual open house or live walkthrough. You want to hold your camera horizontally, like this. So you want to keep it, instead of doing it landscape or portrait, do it landscape. So then that way you have a nice full image that people will be able to see. I know on mobile, you know, stories, there's a lot of portrait videos, which look great on mobile. But, you know, if you're going to be reusing this video, you know, if you're going to be putting it up on YouTube and sharing it out and using it in different formats, you know, it's not gonna transfer well if you're doing a like a portrait video. You want to keep that horizontal, like a landscape, so then that way it fits into the normal 16:9 aspect ratio. Okay, so you also might want to try to recruit a friend or like a team member, so that way they can maybe help you hold camera. So then that way you could focus on some of the features of the house and what you're doing, walking around, talking. But remember, you don't want the video to be about you. You want it to be about the house. So don't, you know, keep that balance there. But either way, you know, having somebody to walk around and follow you around might be a little bit easier. Another thing is if you have like a team member or somebody who could maybe like plant a question, which seems a little bit shady, but you know, it could get the discussion going. You know, maybe a key point feature in the house or something that you really wanted to highlight, where they could bring something up along those lines, or maybe you just had, you know, everything that's kind of going slow. You don't have really anybody engaging, and you needed somebody to maybe kind of pick up the pace. Somebody like Office Talk, you know, once it's kind of quiet until somebody starts putting something out there, and then everybody kind of jumps in and starts, you know, everybody's engaging now. So, you know, it can be used just to get the ball rolling too. And which lens, this is just something, some people, you know, it's a weird tip, but, you know, there's this side of your camera or of your phone, which has a lens, and then there's the back of your camera, which has the good lenses, and that record the video at like a higher quality. So just make sure you're using the proper, you know, back lenses where, you know, I mean, I assume most people will do that, but I've seen some videos that come out like really poor quality, and, you know, then when asking about it, the phone was the opposite way. All right, so post open house. Now that you have all your open house done, virtual open house is finished, you can repurpose this stuff, okay? So whether you're doing it on the Zoom or the Facebook Live or a Zoom Hangouts or anything like that, you can get that recording of it, as well as you can put that online some other places, or you could put it into an email that you can share out, or you put it on your website as like a, you know, some of the marketing that you do for, you know, your listings for people, for your properties. So, you know, a number of ways you can use this to market yourself, as well as kind of create content for your other platforms. Okay, so now just think about other ways that you can use it. So then, and then maybe you want to go ahead and follow up, of course, with the people. So if you can, you know, depending on what platform you're using, you could, you know, you have if you get their information, or sometimes, you know, if you do the required registration, you know, you'll have some emails and stuff like that where you can follow up, thanking them for showing up, and then maybe provide them with some additional information, and, you know, tell them you'll be happy to do a in-person meeting, in-person showing. So just follow up with the people any way you can, as well as you can use these videos for other content after the fact. Okay. All right. So now we're going to get on to what I think many of you are probably here for, the appointment only. So appointment only, we're going to be talking about Calendly. It's a account that you can use for free, which will have basically all the tools that you need in order to create your scheduled open house link that you can put into the MLS. All right. And then I have a whole video about just this too, which I'll leave linked in here, which I'll share out. And you guys can watch the video from here as well later on if you want. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go right to Calendly, just because I have all these slides in here, which you can have, but some of the titles and stuff aren't finished up correctly yet. So I'll finish that up before I share it out, but we're going to go ahead and just go directly to Calendly, and then we'll be able to create our account right here and go through the whole process. Instead of just looking at the slides, we'll actually do it real time, but the slides will have all these steps that I'm showing you that you could follow on along with the slides, along with the video. All right, so you want to put in your email address that you're going to use. I have a couple accounts already here. So this is the demo one I'm going to use for this purpose. So we'll go ahead and put a name in. So this is one of the first areas you want to be. There's two spots in here that you can't have anything branded. So this is spot number 1, and we'll touch on number 2 here in just a couple steps. But this way, you do not want to put your full name because that will then brand it to you. Okay. The email, that they don't really have the email is not going to be visible anywhere until after they already request the show the date for that virtual scheduled open house. So that is okay with your email, but the name is going to be displayed on the page that people go to after clicking the link. Okay, so I'll show you that, but just so you know that this can't be branded. So let's just go. What did I do? Homes for sale, which is not a great name, but it's unbranded and it kind of gets the point that homes for sale. So then just put in your password and then continue. It's going to send an email to your email address. So it's going to take a minute here. So if anybody had any questions, but I want to go to my Gmail here, and I don't know that it's going to be already in here yet, but we'll take a look. No, not yet. Let me see here. So let's go back. So let's take a minute here. But while I do that, I'm going to take a look and show you how to do the, which I kind of skipped over, my brain, the Premiere, the video Premiere. Okay, so this way, if you had a pre-recorded video, which we mentioned, which would be kind of like a virtual tour that you could pre-record and then get that video already, all dialed in. You have it all put together properly. You know exactly what you're putting up beforehand. You'd be able to just go ahead and where we have the create the post, you'd just be able to go ahead and click photo video. Okay. And then we'll want to go ahead and find, let me just grab some video here. So here's a video that we were going to upload. This is our tour video. Now we'll go ahead and put our title in. So virtual open house 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Main Street, blah, blah, blah. And then you can put in anything that, you're continued on your description here. Say whatever you're going to say there. You can, tag yourself or, whoever else. You want to tag, from your business page, you can tag your personal. You can, check in whatever town property's in. But then once you get to the publishing options here, you have Premiere. Okay, so Premiere, you'll be able to set that date and time. So if you're going to do the 10th at noon, you'll be able to just, and then you can upload an image if you want. where we could put in our open house image. And now we have this ready to go, publish. Then boom, you now have your date and time when your video is going to premiere. Then all you do is you just go back to your, well, here, let's just do it, publish. Let's see here, so this is going to premiere out. But then once it's time to go, you'll just go and join, it's going to have a countdown when your video is going to go live. It's not live, it's a pre-recorded video, but it'll be live to everybody else. So this will go ahead and, so when it's processed, we finish notified, okay. So basically you'll go there to where your live videos or where your premiere video is going to be. And then you'll have the, so here's my thing, okay. That's our event. But basically what we're going to do is once it goes to the premiere, you'll just go, because you're not actually going to be going live. You're just going to be there to engage with the people as they're watching your video. So you just need to show up at the same time they do when your video is being premiered, and then you can then now engage those people, once the video starts. Okay. All right. So let's go back here to Calendly. All right. So our email was sent. We have it here, and then we'll go ahead and confirm our email address. And then we want to put in our password that we just created and then log in. All right, so like I mentioned, there's 2 spots that you need to be worried about branding. That first one was our name, which we did homes for sale. This one here, you cannot have branded either, okay? Because this is gonna be your actual URL that you're creating for your account. So Richard 561, is that branded? Not really, but we're gonna go ahead and change that to something like even less branded. So homes in SCV. Oh, homes in SCV is unavailable. Let's go 1 for example purposes, okay. So we'll go ahead and continue. All right, so this section here, you're gonna want to connect your calendar. I'm gonna go ahead and continue without it, but since I already have another account that is connected to my calendar, I'm not gonna connect this one. This one's just for this demonstration purpose. But for you guys, you'd wanna go ahead and select whichever one you use your calendar, whether it's Google Calendar, Apple Calendar, Microsoft Calendar, connect that, because what that's gonna do, as soon as somebody scheduled that open house date and time, then you're going to be notified right on your calendar. It's going to add right to your calendar. So then that way you don't have to go and put it on your calendar, and see who's scheduled when. It's just automatically going to be added right to your calendar. So you can go look in there and see Jane Doe was going to be at noon on the 10th. Okay. So this way you'll have their email address and even phone number if you add the phone number. And I'll show you that here, how you can add an additional section to the questions in order to get their phone number along with email. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to continue, but go ahead and do that. This is going to be your general availability. So this you can leave as open, as wide open as you want. So if you're going to be available from 9 to 5 every day of the week, set that up as needed. But as it says here, don't worry, you can customize this later on. But we are going to go and we're going to create a specific event for our open house. This is just our general availability. So this doesn't have to be tailored right to that one specific, whatever day you're going to be doing your open house. This is, like I said, just general. And then you can go ahead and select this or whatever you think applies. Click finish. And now our account is going to be created. And we're going to go be able to create a new event. Okay. So you do have these pre-built events. And this would be something that you could use for, if you wanted to do like a scheduled, just a generic scheduling for, whatever day, you share the link out, put it in your email signature, whatever, to schedule a meeting with you. But we're going to create a new event. Okay. So we'll go ahead and create new event type. And then we're going to do a one-on-one. We're going to go ahead and name this. This is going to be 12345 Main Street, appointment only. Add location. We're going to do this in person. And then we're going to put in the 12345 Main Street. Oops. And you could do additional information. This might be for like a gate code, something like that. Okay.
It's 3 o'clock.
Go ahead and update that. All right, so now we have, actually, you know what? I'm going to go over to another window here and open up because I already have like a description pre-written. So I'm going to go ahead and skip over that. Give me 1 second here. All right, so I'm just going to paste this in. But this is just kind of a description / instructions, which I put in. Appointment house by appointment only, 12345 Main Street. Select from available dates, times. Will be required to sign a PED upon PED upon entry. And this might be a way, if you get their email, you could even send them the PED prior to the meeting to sign. Prior to the open house, since you are getting their email address. Something to think about there. But and then, you know, something like mask will be required and will be available if you do not have one. Max 2 people per visit. Okay. So now here, this will be just pulled in by your event name. So you could leave that alone, or you can change it. Just make sure that you do not make it branded. Okay. Click next. And then we will have to click how long do we want these appointment times to be. So if you do 15 minutes or 30 minutes, probably going to be, you know, the most likely that you're going to be using. If you do 30, excuse me, you do not need to do anything with this advanced section because those time slots are going to be set to 30 minutes already in these availability increments. But if you wanted to do 15 minutes, you're going to click this advanced here and then select this to 15 minutes. So then that way, when people sign up, they will have the ability to select from 15-minute intervals rather than 30. Okay. So even if you have 15 minutes selected here, but this is still 30, then they're not going to be able to select 15 minutes. Every appointment time can be 30 minutes apart. So it kind of defeats the purpose of doing the 15. So just make sure if you're doing 15, select the advanced here and then change 30 to 15. Okay. But if you're doing 30, this will already be default set to 30 minutes. Okay. So we'll just go for now. So date range. So this is going to be your actual days of your open house now. Okay. So the day or days of your open house. So we're going to select from here a date range, and we're going to select the day or days of our open house. So in this example, we're doing 2 days because it's easier to do one than to do 2. So I just want to show you 2. Okay. So we'll go ahead and apply. So we just need to select this. This is kind of going to keep us from moving ahead. So just make sure you go ahead and click edit, do locked, Pacific, apply. Okay. And then now you have your time zone locked in. We're going to go back to this hours here. So now we just need to, so we have our 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, the 10th and the 11th are our available days. So now we just need to put what time is our open house going to be on these days. So we're going to select new interval, and we're going to go 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. And then if you were just doing it on the October 10th, you just select apply to that one day. Okay. But we're doing it to multiple days. So we're going to do apply to multiple, and then we're going to do specific dates. And then 10th is already selected. So we just need to add the 11th and then click apply. And then there we go. We have our Saturday the 10th and Sunday the 11th. Open house is set for 12 to 3 p.m. And we'll just go ahead and click next, and our event will be created. We have our link here now that we can add to the MLS or share out on social media or send out in an email or wherever you're going to do that. You can put that on, create an event on Facebook as well, and put that link in to schedule to sign up. So whatever your marketing beyond that is going to be, this is the link that you're going to use, and this is going to be the link that, like I said, goes in the MLS. All right. But before we go and take a look at that, I mentioned how you could add the phone number area in there. Okay. So let's take a look right down here in these additional options in the invitee questions. So we have our name, email, which are mandatory, and then we have a just like a question comment section. So we want to add a new question for the phone number. Okay. So we're going to type in phone, make that required if you want. And then in this drop down, we're going to select phone number and then apply. We'll go ahead and you see these little arrows. We can drag this up right below email. Okay. And then you can go ahead and click save. So now our questions will, so if we take a look at this page live, which just could be our URL as well, we have our open house with our name that we created. So if you put your actual name in when you were first signing up for the account, your name would be up here, which would now make your link branded. Okay. So that's why we want to put a generic name in there. And then we had our generic URL. Okay. So nothing in here is branded to you or your team. Then, you have your description that you put in, and we have our 2 dates available. So we clicked on one of these, and we wanted to select, we wanted to schedule our time at 12 o'clock on the 10th. We'd go ahead and click that and confirm. So we'd just be able to fill this in, and we'd be able to, oops, let me do this one here. There we go. Be able to put that in and schedule the event. Well, this would be the user themselves, but now you'd capture their phone number, their email, and go ahead and schedule that. You'll receive an email that'll get added to your calendar. If you have your calendar linked, they have the ability now to add it to their calendar as well. Okay, so now you're all set. Let's go back to Calendly really quickly. And then we're going to go back to home. And we're going to see our new open house here. And this is going to be where we can copy our link. Okay. We want to copy that. Now we'll be able to put it into the MLS. All right. So let me go over to back to here. I'm going to go all the way to the end. So I just want to pull this up back again really quickly. So this is where you'd go and add those appointment onlys to the that unbranded link. You want to put into the description area of the MLS. So when you have the public remarks here, you'd be able to just type something in, telling people that you have an appointment only open house coming up on whatever dates and times that you have that open house going on, and that they can click this link in order to sign up, okay? Or to schedule their time. So basically you would be able to put that into the public remarks and then the syndicated remarks. All right, technically you could have a branded link in the syndicated remarks, but just for ease, it's mandated that you can only have a non-branded link in the public. It's just kind of easier to use that one link. Otherwise you'd have to have a separate account that would have your branded account and then an unbranded account. And that's up to you. If you want to create 2 separate accounts and do it that way, that's, go for it. But you do not have to, but you do have to have an unbranded link in the public remarks. So just keep that in mind. All right, and I think that is all for us. So, we don't see any questions here, so we'll go ahead and finish it up. And I will talk to you guys later. And remember, if you have any questions or you need any help with this, getting any of this started or using any of these tools, or questions about any other tools that I didn't mention, feel free to reach out and send me an email or give me a call, and I'll be happy to help. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you later. Bye.